Ambassador Karen Phillips sat in the Great Hall of Nexus Prime. The massive room was filled with aliens from across the galaxy. Some looked like giant insects, others had blue skin and 4 arms, a few were made of living crystal that sparkled in the light. All of them were part of the Galaxy Council. Karen had been Earth's voice in this council for 10 years. She thought she knew these aliens well. She thought they were friends. Today she would learn how wrong she was. The meeting started like any other. The council talked about trade routes and mining rights. Karen listened and took notes. Nothing seemed strange. But then something happened that made her blood run cold. A message appeared on her private screen. It was marked Eyes Only, Human Ambassador. The sender was listed as a friend. Karen's hands shook as she opened it. They plan to kill you all, the message said. Check file code ZX7749. You have maybe 1 hour before they arrest you. Run. Karen's heart pounded. She looked around the hall. The aliens were still talking about boring council business. Nobody was looking at her. She quietly typed in the file code. What she saw made her sick. It was a plan called the Purge Protocol. The document showed maps of every human world. Earth, New Kansas, Luna Colony, all 12 human settlements. Each one had a big red X marked over it. The plan was simple and terrible. In 30 days, 5 alien races would attack all human worlds at the same time. No warnings, no mercy. They wanted to wipe out every human in the galaxy. Karen kept reading. The aliens thought humans were too dangerous. They said humans grew too fast and learned too quickly. They said human technology was getting too good. They were afraid, but the worst part was still coming. Karen found another file. This one showed that the aliens had been stealing human inventions for years. Every time humans made something new, the aliens copied it. They took human medical tools, human ship engines, even human weapons. Then they made these things better and kept the improvements for themselves. Karen felt angry and scared at the same time. For over 100 years, humans had trusted the Galaxy Council. They had shared their knowledge freely. They had helped other races solve problems. And this was how the aliens repaid them. The screen beeped with another message. Security is coming for you now. Back exit. Blue corridor. Ship Bay 7. Go. Karen looked up. 3 large aliens in council security uniforms were walking toward her. They moved slowly, trying not to draw attention. But Karen could see the stun weapons on their belts. She stood up carefully and walked toward the back of the hall. Her legs felt weak, but she forced herself to move normally. She could not let them know she had seen the files. The blue corridor was dark and empty. Karen ran as fast as she could. Her formal ambassador clothes were not made for running, but she did not care. Behind her, she heard shouts. They had found her empty seat. Ship Bay 7 was at the end of the corridor. A small human transport ship waited there. The engines were already running. As Karen got closer, the door opened. "Get in," said the pilot. It was Captain Alex Turner from the human patrol ship USS Defiance. "We need to leave right now." Karen jumped into the ship. The door closed behind her just as council security guards ran into the bay. Alex pushed the engines to full power. The ship shot out of the bay and into space. "How did you know?" Karen asked, breathing hard. "Admiral Morrison told me to wait here," Alex said. "He got a message from someone inside the council. Someone who does not want humans to die." As they flew away from Nexus Prime, Karen sent an urgent message to Earth. She told them everything. The attack plan, the stolen technology, the betrayal of their oldest allies. On Earth, Admiral Jake Morrison received the message in his office, at Fleet Command. He was a tough man who had fought in many wars. But this news made him feel cold inside. He had always known this day might come. Humans were different from other races. They grew faster, learned quicker, and never gave up. Some aliens found this scary. Morrison activated his secure communication system. He sent coded messages to every human world and space station. The messages were short, but clear. Protocol 7 is now active. The enemy is coming. Get ready. At Luna Research Station, Dr. Lisa Carter was working late in her lab. She was trying to make human engines even faster. When Morrison's message came through, she stopped her work. Protocol 7 meant war was coming. It meant her research was no longer just science. It was now a weapon. Dr. Carter walked to a hidden panel in her lab wall. She pressed her hand against it and spoke a code word. The panel opened to show a secret room filled with designs and blueprints. For 30 years, a small group of humans had been preparing for this day. They had built things in secret. Amazing things. Terrible things. Things that could save humanity or destroy their enemies. Back on the transport ship, Karen watched Nexus, Prime, grow smaller behind them. She thought about all the years she had spent talking to aliens, making deals, building friendships. It had all been a lie, but humans were not easy to kill. The aliens were about to learn that attacking Earth was the biggest mistake they would ever make. The galaxy would never be the same. Admiral Morrison stood in the war room deep under Earth's surface. The room was filled with screens showing every human world in the galaxy. Red lights blinked on most of them. This meant danger was coming. Around the table sat the most important people in human space. General Ryan Martinez controlled all the secret weapons projects. Commander Sam Johnson led the best fighter pilots. Engineer Maya Chen built the fastest ships. They all looked worried but not surprised. "How long do we have?" asked General Martinez. 30 days before they attack," Morrison said. "Maybe less. Karen got us the proof we needed, but now they know we know." Maya Chen touched her tablet and a hologram appeared in the center of the table. It showed a sleek, dark ship unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. "The Phoenix fleet is ready," she said. 50 ships built in secret over 20 years. They use our new quantum engines. They can move faster than anything the aliens have. Commander Johnson smiled. "My pilots have been training on these ships for months. The aliens think we only have the old patrol boats they see flying around. They have no idea what's coming." Morrison nodded. "What about the other projects?" General Martinez stood up. He was a big man with scars on his hands from years of building weapons. "Follow me," he said. They took a hidden elevator down to a level that did not exist on any official map. The doors opened to show a massive underground factory. Hundreds of workers moved between machines that built things the Galaxy Council had never imagined. "Stealth generators," Martinez said, pointing to one production line. "Any ship with these becomes invisible, not just hard to see, completely invisible to every sensor the aliens use." They walked past rows of strange-looking weapons. "Quantum phase guns," Martinez explained. "They shoot through energy shields like they are not even there. All those expensive alien defense systems become useless." Maya Chen stopped at a display showing a small device. "This is my favorite," she said. "Quantum slip drive. Instead of using hyperspace like everyone else, our ships can jump instantly from one place to another. No travel time, no way for enemies to track where we go." Commander Johnson looked impressed. "My pilots are going to love this." They came to the biggest project at the end of the factory floor. It looked like a giant metal ball covered in warning signs. "Stellar disruptor," Martinez said quietly. "It can make a star explode. We built it hoping we would never need to use it, but if the aliens want to play with planet killers..." Morrison felt heavy inside. He did not like weapons that could destroy whole solar systems. But the aliens had forced this choice. "How many do we have?" "3, Martinez said. "Enough to make them think twice about wiping us out." A young technician ran up to them. "Admiral, we have a problem. Captain Williams is sending an emergency signal from deep space." They hurried back to the war room. On the main screen appeared Captain Tony Williams, commander of the scout ship USS Ranger. His face looked grim. "Admiral, you need to see this," Williams said. The screen changed to show space filled with alien warships, thousands of them, all painted in the dark colors of the Zephyrian Empire and their allies. "They have been building this fleet for years," Williams continued. "Hidden bases at the edge of the galaxy. These are not normal patrol ships, these are invasion fleets. They want to take our worlds, not just destroy them. Morrison counted the ships on screen. The aliens had more firepower than he had hoped, but humans had always won fights by being smarter, not stronger. Any good news, Captain? Morrison asked. Williams smiled. They are all bunched together in tight formations, perfect targets. And Admiral, they are using old communication systems, the kind Dr. Carter helped them build 20 years ago. Dr. Carter looked up from her tablet. She had been listening from her lab on Luna Station. I remember those systems. I also remember the backdoors I put in them, just in case. Backdoors? Asked Commander Johnson. Secret ways to get into their computers, Carter explained. If they are still using those old systems, I can hack into their entire fleet. Make their ships think up is down, friend is enemy. Morrison felt hope for the first time that day. How long do you need? Give me 48 hours, Carter said. I will turn their own technology against them. General Martinez activated another screen. This one showed automated defense platforms, spreading out from hidden asteroid bases. While the doctor works her magic, these will protect our colonies. Self-building, self-repairing gun platforms. Each one has the firepower of a battle cruiser. The aliens think they know everything about human technology, Maya Chen said. They stole our old designs and copied them, but they never saw the new stuff. Every ship they have is built to fight the humans they remember from 20 years ago. Commander. Johnson stood up. My pilots are ready. We have been practicing new tactics the aliens never saw. Hit-and-run attacks, ambush strikes, fighting in ways their computers cannot predict. Morrison looked around the room at his team. These people had spent decades preparing for this war. Not because they wanted to fight, but because they knew someday the aliens would get scared of human progress. There is one more thing, Martinez said. He handed Morrison a data pad. We found out who has been helping the aliens plan this attack. The Crystalline Collective has been sharing our diplomatic messages with the Zephyrian Empire. They know every human military position. Or they think they do, Morrison said with a cold smile. Show them what they expect to see. Hide our real strength until it is too late for them to run. Dr. Carter's voice came through the speakers again. Admiral, I have been thinking. The aliens made one big mistake. They gave us 30 days warning. They should have attacked immediately. Why? Is that good for us? Asked Johnson. Because in 30 days I can do more than just hack their computers, Carter said. I can upgrade every human ship with our new technology. Turn our entire fleet into something the aliens never imagined. Morrison felt the fear leaving his chest. The aliens thought they were hunting sheep. They had no idea they were about to fight wolves. Send the word to every human commander, Morrison ordered. Operation Phoenix begins now. In 30 days, the aliens will learn why you should never back humans into a corner. As alarms rang through the secret base, thousands of humans began the final preparations for war. The Galaxy Council had made their choice. Now, they would face the consequences. The galaxy was about to discover that humanity's greatest strength was not their technology or their weapons. It was their refusal to give up no matter how bad things looked. The attack came exactly when the stolen files said it would. 27 days after Karen Phillips escaped from Nexus Prime, alien warships dropped out of hyperspace around New Kansas Colony. The aliens expected to find a helpless farming world. Instead, they found a trap. Admiral Morrison watched from his command ship as enemy vessels appeared on his screens. Right on time, he said to his bridge crew. Begin Operation Phoenix. The alien fleet was huge. 200 ships from 5 different races, all armed with stolen human technology. They moved in perfect formation toward New Kansas, confident they would wipe out the colony in minutes. They never saw the human ships waiting for them. Commander Sam Johnson sat in the cockpit of his new Wraith fighter, hidden behind the colony's moon. His ship was completely invisible to alien sensors. Around him, 50 other pilots waited for the signal. Ghost Squadron, this is Phoenix Command, came Morrison's voice. You are clear to engage. Johnson smiled and pushed his ship's quantum slip drive. 1 second he was behind the moon. The next second he was right in the middle of the alien fleet. The aliens had no time to react. Johnson's quantum phase weapons tore through their shields like paper, His first shot destroyed a Zephyrian cruiser. His second killed a crystalline destroyer. By the time the aliens realized they were under attack, half their fleet was already burning. But Johnson was just the beginning. Captain Steve Robinson's stealth ships appeared all around the alien formation. The Phoenix fleet had been waiting in deep space, invisible and silent. Now they struck like lightning. The alien admiral tried to order his ships to retreat, but it was too late. Dr. Carter's computer virus had already infected their communication systems. Instead of retreat orders, the alien ships received commands to fire on each other. Chaos spread through the enemy fleet. Zephyrian ships opened fire on their crystalline allies. The bug-like hive ships attacked everyone in range. In the confusion, more human ships appeared and began picking off the scattered aliens one by one. On New Kansas, Colonel Beth Adams watched the battle from the colony's command center. Her Marines were ready to fight on the ground, but it looked like the space battle would be over before any aliens made it to the surface. "Impressive," said Dr. Nick Davis, the colony's chief medical officer. He had been preparing to treat wounded soldiers. Instead, he was watching the complete destruction of an invasion fleet. The battle lasted only 12 minutes. When it was over, every alien ship was either destroyed or fleeing back to hyperspace. Not a single human vessel had been lost. But the real surprise came an hour later when similar reports arrived from every other human world. The coordinated alien attack had failed everywhere. Worse than failed, it had been turned into a disaster for the aliens. On Earth, Admiral Morrison received victory reports from 12 different star systems. The aliens had lost over 800 ships and thousands of trained soldiers. Humanity had lost nothing. Phase 1 complete, Morrison announced to his staff. Now we move to Phase 2. Captain Robinson, take your stealth ships and hit their supply bases. Commander Johnson, your fighters will scout their home systems. Time to show them what real war looks like. 3 days later, Captain Robinson's invisible ship struck the alien supply depot at Kepler Station. The aliens never knew what hit them. One moment their base was peaceful and secure. The next moment it was a burning wreck, floating in space. Lieutenant Dan Parker flew his Wraith fighter through the wreckage, recording everything for intelligence analysis. The aliens had been storing stolen human technology here, along with weapons meant for the invasion of Earth. "Look at this," Parker said over his radio. "They have whole warehouses full of our old medical scanners and ship engines. They have been copying our stuff for decades." But Parker found something even more interesting in the command center. Files showing that the aliens had planned to enslave any humans who survived the attacks. They wanted to use human creativity to build better weapons for their own wars. "Send this to Admiral Morrison," Parker told his computer. "The aliens were never planning to just kill us. They wanted to make us their slaves." Back on Earth, Morrison read the intelligence reports with growing anger. The betrayal was even worse than they had thought. The aliens had not just stolen human technology, they had planned to steal human freedom itself. That same week, Colonel Adams led the first human ground assault on an alien military base. The target was a crystalline research station where they had been studying captured human prisoners. Adams and her Marines used new powered armor that made them faster and stronger than any alien soldier. They also carried quantum phase weapons that could punch through the toughest alien defenses. The attack was over in minutes. The crystalline guards were used to fighting other aliens who followed predictable patterns. They had never faced humans who thought outside the box and never gave up. "Prisoners secured," Adams reported as her Marines freed a dozen human scientists who had been captured years earlier. "The aliens were using our people to help them understand our technology." One of the rescued scientists, a woman named Dr. Kate Brown, had terrible news. "They have been doing this for 20 years, she said, taking humans from remote colonies and making them work in secret labs. There might be hundreds more out there." This news spread through human space like wildfire. Now the war was not just about survival, it was about rescue. Every human in the galaxy was determined to find their missing people and make the aliens pay. Admiral Morrison expanded the war plan. "New objective," he announced to all human forces. "Find every secret alien lab. Free every human prisoner, and make sure the aliens never try this again. The next major battle came at Titan's Gate, a heavily defended checkpoint that controlled access to the inner galaxy. Captain Tony Williams had discovered that the aliens were moving reinforcements through this system. Morrison decided to make a statement. He sent the experimental dreadnought USS Vengeance, commanded by Captain Jim Thompson, to destroy the entire alien defense network. The USS Vengeance was a monster of a ship, built with every advanced technology humanity had developed. It was 3 times larger than the biggest alien vessel and carried enough firepower to level a small moon. Captain Thompson brought his ship out of quantum slip drive right in front of Titan's Gate. The alien defense fleet opened fire immediately, hitting the Vengeance with everything they had. The human ship did not even slow down. Its quantum shields absorbed the alien fire like rain on armor. Thompson returned fire with weapons the aliens had never imagined. Stellar torpedoes that could crack planets. Gravity bombs that crushed ships into tiny balls of metal. In 30 minutes, Thompson had destroyed over 300 alien ships and reduced their impregnable fortress to space dust. The aliens watching from nearby systems sent panicked messages. Home. Humanity was not just fighting back, they were winning. News of the victories spread throughout the galaxy. Other races that had been oppressed by the Council began to whisper about rebellion. If humans could stand up to the great powers, maybe they could too. The war had begun with the aliens trying to destroy humanity. Now, just weeks later, it was clear that humanity was destroying them instead. And this was only the beginning. 6 months after the war began, the galaxy looked very different. Human ships appeared everywhere, striking alien targets across dozens of star systems. What had started as humanity's desperate fight for survival had become something much bigger. Admiral Kate Morgan stood on the bridge of her flagship, studying holographic maps of the galaxy. She was Morrison's new fleet commander, in charge of coordinating attacks on multiple fronts. The aliens could no longer predict where humans would strike next. "Report from Sector 7, said her communications officer. Captain Thompson's dreadnought destroyed another alien supply convoy. No survivors. Sector 12 reports successful. Infiltration, added the intelligence officer. Major Evans has made contact with the Meridian Resistance Movement. They want to help us. Morgan smiled. The aliens had made a terrible mistake when they started this war. They thought all the other races would stay neutral. Instead, many smaller species were now secretly helping humanity. The Meridians were peaceful traders who had been bullied by the Council for centuries. The Aquatic Collective had lost 3 colonies to Zephyrian expansion. Even some members of the insect-like hive wanted revenge against their own leaders. Send Evans more supplies, Morgan ordered. Tell him to arm anyone willing to fight the Council. On the other side of the galaxy, Dr. Paul Anderson was winning a different kind of war. His quantum virus had spread through alien computer networks like a plague. Every time the aliens tried to coordinate their forces, their own systems turned against them. Anderson sat in his secret laboratory watching alien ships on his monitors. With a few keystrokes, he could make their weapons malfunction or their engines shut down. The aliens had become afraid to use their own technology. "Sir," said his assistant, a young woman named Carol Green, "we have intercepted another council. Communication. They are calling for an emergency meeting on Nexus Prime." Anderson read the message and laughed. The alien leaders were panicking. Half their fleets had been destroyed, their supply lines were cut. Their own computers could not be trusted. Some council members were demanding peace talks, but the most powerful aliens, led by the Zephyrian Emperor, wanted to escalate the war. They were preparing to use forbidden weapons that could destroy entire solar systems. "Send this to Admiral Morgan immediately," Anderson said. "If they use planet killers, we will have to respond with our stellar disruptors." Meanwhile, Major Chris Evans was deep in alien territory, leading the most dangerous mission of the war. His Special Forces team had infiltrated the crystalline home system to rescue human prisoners and gather intelligence. Evans crouched behind a crystal formation, watching an alien prison camp through his scope. Inside the camp were over 200 humans who had been captured over the years. The aliens had been using them as test subjects for biological weapons. Team Alpha, move to position, Evans whispered into his radio. Team Beta, prepare the charges. We go in 60 seconds. The attack was swift and brutal. Evans' soldiers wore stealth suits that made them nearly invisible. They carried new weapons that could kill crystalline guards instantly. The aliens never knew what hit them. Prisoners secured, Evans reported as his teams led the humans to safety. But we found something else. The aliens have been developing a virus designed to kill only humans. They were planning to release it on Earth. This news horrified human leaders. The aliens were not just trying to win the war. They wanted to commit genocide against the entire human race. Admiral Morrison received Evans' report while commanding the siege of an alien fortress world. His anger was cold and deadly. New orders for all units, he transmitted. No more mercy, no more prisoners. The aliens chose total war. Now they get it. The human response was devastating. Captain Jim Thompson took his dreadnought USS Vengeance deep into Zephyrian space and began systematically destroying their military bases. His ship's new weapons could crack the crust of a planet, making alien worlds uninhabitable. Commander Johnson's Ghost Squadron struck alien colonies that had been building weapons for the war effort. The pilots showed no mercy to anyone who had helped plan humanity's destruction. Dr. Anderson released new versions of his computer virus that did more than just confuse alien systems. Now the virus could take complete control of alien ships and turn them against their own fleets. The aliens tried to fight back, but their unity was cracking. The Crystalline Collective blamed the Zephyrian Empire for starting the war. The Hive questioned why they were following orders from other species. Several smaller races began secretly negotiating with humanity. The breaking point came when Captain Lisa Miller's forces captured a major alien communication hub. The intelligence they found there revealed the full scope of alien plans for humanity. They were not planning to stop with Earth, Miller reported to Admiral Morgan. After wiping us out, they wanted to divide our territory between them. The Zephyrians would take our colonies. The Crystallines would get our technology. The Hive would claim our star systems. Miller had also discovered something that made the aliens even more desperate. Their own analysis showed that human technology was advancing so fast that in another 50 years, no alien race would be able to match it. The war was their last chance to stop human progress. They are more afraid of us than we thought, Morgan realized. This was never about territory or resources. They are fighting for their survival as the dominant powers in the galaxy. The revelation changed everything. If the aliens believed this was a fight to the death, they would never surrender. They would use every weapon they had, no matter how terrible. Morgan was right. 2 days later, the Zephyrian Emperor announced that his empire would begin using cleansing fire against human worlds. The Emperor's scientists had built weapons that could sterilize entire planets, killing every living thing on the surface. The message was clear: surrender now, or watch every human world burn. Admiral Morrison's response was broadcast to every species in the galaxy. He stood before cameras in his command center, his face grim but determined. The Zephyrian Empire threatens to murder billions of innocent people, Morrison said. They have forgotten that humans do not surrender. We do not bow to threats, and we have weapons of our own. Behind Morrison, screens showed the 3 stellar disruptors that humanity had built in secret. Each one could make a star explode, destroying everything in a solar system. We did not want this war, Morrison continued. But since the aliens have chosen the path of total destruction, they will face the consequences. For every human world they attack, we will remove one of their suns from the sky. The message sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Nobody had thought humans possessed such terrible weapons. Suddenly, the species that had seemed weak and helpless revealed themselves as potentially the most dangerous force in known space. Some alien leaders called for immediate peace talks. Others demanded even more extreme measures. The Galaxy Council was splitting apart, just as humanity had hoped. The final phase of the war was about to begin, and this time, it would not end until one side was completely defeated. The final battle began when Admiral Morrison's massive fleet appeared around Nexus Prime, the capital world of the Galaxy Council. 1,000 human ships surrounded the planet, their weapons trained on the alien government centers below. But Morrison did not attack. Instead, he opened communication channels to every world in the galaxy. President Laura Bush appeared on screens across known space. She stood in the Oval Office on Earth, calm and confident despite the chaos of war around her. "People of the galaxy," she began, "humanity did not choose this war. It was forced upon us by those who feared our progress and our friendship with other races. Today, we offer you a choice." Morrison's fleet held their fire as Bush continued her speech. "We can end this war right now. The old Galaxy Council built on fear and oppression must be dissolved. In its place, we propose a new federation where all species are equal partners, not subjects of the powerful few." On Nexus Prime, the alien leaders watched Bush's broadcast with growing panic. Emperor Vex of the Zephyrian Empire slammed his fist on the council table. "Lies," he shouted. "Humans want to rule us all. We must fight." But other council members were tired of war. The Meridian ambassador stood up slowly. "We accept humanity's terms," she announced. "My people surrender and request protection from human forces." One by one, other species began surrendering. The Aquatic Collective had lost half their worlds to human attacks. The Peaceful Trader Alliance had never wanted to fight at all. Even some members of the Insect Hive broke away from their leaders. Emperor Vex watched his alliance crumble. In desperation, he activated his final weapon. Deep under Nexus Prime, a massive bomb began charging. It would destroy the planet and everyone on it, including billions of innocent civilians. "If we cannot rule the galaxy," Vex declared, "then nobody will." But the Emperor had not counted on Captain Lisa Miller. Her special forces had been on Nexus Prime for weeks, preparing for this moment. As soon as the bomb began charging, Miller's team struck. The battle through the underground tunnels was fierce. Zephyrian guards fought desperately to protect their Emperor's last weapon. But human soldiers were better trained, better equipped, and more determined. Miller reached the bomb chamber just as the countdown reached 30 seconds. Her explosives expert, Sergeant Bob Taylor, studied the alien device quickly. "I can stop it," Taylor said, "but I need 10 more seconds." Miller and her team held the doorway against waves of alien attackers. Quantum phase bullets flew in both directions. 2 of her soldiers fell, but they held their ground. "Done," Taylor shouted as the bomb powered down safely. Above ground, Admiral Morrison received the signal that the bomb was neutralized. Now he could complete his mission without killing innocent people. "All ships move to capture positions," Morrison ordered. "Take the Emperor alive if possible." Human Marines landed all over Nexus Prime. The remaining alien forces surrendered quickly when they realized their leader's bomb had failed. Within hours, Emperor Vex and his inner circle were prisoners. Ambassador Karen Phillips, who had started this whole adventure by discovering the alien betrayal, now stood in the same council chamber where she had nearly been arrested. But this time, she was not alone. Representatives from dozens of species filled the hall. Most of them were grateful to humanity for ending the council's oppression. A few were angry about their defeat. All of them wanted to know what would happen next. "The old system is dead," Phillips announced. "For too long, a few powerful species controlled everyone else. They stole technology, enslaved weaker races, and threatened anyone who opposed them. That ends today. The new Galactic Federation would be very different. Every species would have a voice based on their population and contribution, not their military strength. Technology would be shared freely among all members, and no single race would have the power to threaten others." Dr. Lisa Carter led the technology sharing program. Her quantum drives, stealth systems, and computer defenses were made available to any peaceful species. In return, humans learned new techniques for energy production, terraforming, and space construction. "We are stronger together," Carter explained, to a group of alien scientists. "Humans are good at some things. You are good at others. By working together, We can solve problems that none of us could handle alone. The most surprising development came from Major Evans's work with resistance groups. Many species had been secretly fighting council oppression for years. Now they could work openly to build a better galaxy. The Meridians became humanity's closest allies, using their trading networks to spread peaceful technology. The Aquatic Collective shared their knowledge of ocean worlds, helping humans establish new colonies. Even some reformed members of the Hive proved to be valuable partners. But not everyone accepted the new order. Emperor Vex and his most loyal followers were put on trial for war crimes. The evidence against them was overwhelming. Genocide attempts, slavery, theft of technology, and the planned destruction of civilian populations. "You have not won," Vex declared during his trial. "Other species will rise against you. They will fear human power just as we did." President Bush personally attended the trial. She looked at the defeated emperor with sadness, not hatred. "We do not want power over others," she said. "We want partnership. The choice will always be yours." Vex was sentenced to life imprisonment on a secure planet. His empire was broken up, with former Zephyrian colonies given the choice to govern themselves or join the Federation. 5 years later, the galaxy was unrecognizable. Trade flowed freely between hundreds of worlds. Scientific discoveries were shared instantly across space. Wars between species had become almost unknown. Dr. Carter now worked at the Galactic Research Institute, a joint project involving scientists from 30 different races. Her latest project was developing faster-than-light communication that would let any being in the galaxy talk to any other in real time. Admiral Morrison had retired from military service and become an ambassador, helping newly discovered species join the Federation peacefully. He often thought about how the war had started with aliens fearing human progress. Now that same progress was lifting up the entire galaxy. Captain Miller commanded the Federation Peacekeeping Force, a mixed fleet of ships from many worlds. Her crews included humans, Meridians, reformed Hive members, and dozens of other species, working together. The refugee camps were empty now. Every human prisoner had been found and freed. The secret alien labs had been shut down and their scientists retrained for peaceful research. But the greatest change was in the attitude of galactic civilization itself. The old system of strong species bullying weak ones was gone. In its place was a community where every voice mattered and every world had the chance to grow. Standing in her office on New Geneva Station, Ambassador Phillips looked out at the busy traffic of ships from 100 different worlds. Humans, aliens, and hybrids worked side by side on the massive space station that served as the Federation's new capital. A message came through from Earth. President Bush wanted to know if humanity should share its newest discovery, a way to create new habitable planets using controlled stellar engineering. Phillips smiled as she typed her reply. "Share it with everyone. That is what we do now." The Galaxy Council had crossed the line when they tried to destroy humanity. But in striking back, humans had not just saved themselves. They had saved the entire galaxy from a system built on fear and oppression. The old order was dead. The new order belonged to everyone.